A woman had taken her child out on the beach, and she wasn't out there for fun and sun. She decided to strip her daughter naked and beat the living shit out of her because she apparently she had demons in her. She reportedly continued to assault by striking, biting, and choking her child while a crowd, and this is the part that really disgusted me, 10 to 12 people stood by watching. They didn't interfere. Nobody interfered. 10 to 12 people stood there and watched a woman take sand, rub it in this girl's eyes and mouth, and they did nothing. Now, at one point, a gentleman by the name of John Marcial, I hope I'm pronouncing that guy's last name right, a local citizen stepped in and immediately tried to restrain the woman. Her name is Kimberly Felder. Stepped in and to restrain her from further hurting the child. Now, the police said that the two struggled on the ground while Felder continued assaulting and hitting the child on the head with a piece of driftwood that she found, apparently. So while she's fighting off one guy that's trying to stop her, she's continuously trying to beat her child with some random pieces of driftwood on this beach. This is why I fight against religion so hard, is because religion makes people fucking crazy. And the people who are already crazy are already 10 times even crazier now because of religion. The deputy arrived at the scene shortly thereafter. He was able to pull Felder from the child and was handcuffed. They put in for accommodation for this guy for saving this child from this lunatic.
Yeah.
Kind of your thoughts.
I actually went to the chat room on this, and I said the only reason that I could fathom that like 12 people would be standing around and not wanting to confront this woman is she looks like she's easily 250 pounds of angry crazy. And she has a piece of driftwood in her hand. She's beating this child, and people have a real aversion to get involved. But that's the only way I could fathom it, because I know my better senses leave myself. If I saw this, I would have intervened also. This is such insanity. This woman, why is she doing this to her child? My mind goes to a bunch of different places, telling people that, having children is a gift, and so you don't tell people that they shouldn't have babies. And I'm thinking, why is this woman a mother, or what's going on? I don't know. And the other thing is too, the man who intervened, Marcial, he was telling the press now that God told him to intervene.
Ugh.
And that's on Patheos.
I'm sorry. That's he should have intervened because it was the right thing to do, not because God told him to do that. Because apparently, in her mind, God was telling her a different story. Was saying you have to expel demons from your daughter by pouring sand in her eyes and mouth.
And his thing was, well, this isn't an actual exorcism because I don't see any of the crosses or the holy water or anything like that. I know that can't be an exorcism. I'm like, it can't be an exorcism because demons don't fucking exist, you moron.
Thank you.
I apologize, but Grant, I'm glad he's tried to stop her, but guess what? You stopped her because you saw a woman trying to kill a kid, and that's your humanity, all right?
Yeah.
Anyway, it has nothing to fucking do with God. There we go. Anyway, that's what I have to say.
Atheist Ranger, your thoughts?
This story, I don't want to sound cruel, but somewhat made me laugh because, it's not just Christians, by the way. Theists in general are constantly saying that atheists and gays shouldn't have children, but yet this is a glaring story of why theists shouldn't have children.
I completely agree.
Yeah, which, by the way, the deputy said that the child sustained severe damage to her right ear, and the deputy, somewhere in the article, said the deputies said that if that one innocent bystander hadn't intervened, that the child probably would have been killed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this child is probably going to have hearing problems in the right ear for the rest of her life.
And psychological. Let's not forget the psychological. Her mother tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Because she thought she was trying to get rid of demons.
Yeah, this is just another story of every single time I hear theists say, well, because as we all know, I think in South Dakota a few months ago, they passed a law that allows faith-based adoption agencies to discriminate against atheists and gays. When I hear this, I bring up this kind of shit. Because as far as I'm concerned, you people are the last people to be lecturing us on children.
Yeah, or morality for that matter.
Exactly.
Yeah, Matt, your thoughts?
When I see stuff like this, it's like, really? Your own child I mean, that just makes me sick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but that, you know, that's why I don't like religion either. I just think it's the result of all evil, and then you have stuff like this happen.
Well,
Because
there's also,
God made me do this, or the devil made me do this, or whatever. It's like, okay,
You know,
enough is enough.
yeah, the story kind of reminds me of what that lady's name, Yates.
But they only care about the unborn, and once they're out there, well, they went home to be with Jesus because Jesus needs more pretty flowers in his garden, and this woman is a believer, and so blah 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 or whatever. I'm like, oh my God.
I did want to mention one comment that was on the page here, and it was it was the first comment, and I agree with it completely. It says, obviously not a true Christian, just mentally deluded, violent person in 5, 4, 3, 2. So basically, they're waiting for the people to come out and say, well, if that wasn't a true Christian, she wouldn't have done it if she was a true Christian.
True Scotsman.
It's a no true Scotsman fallacy. Exactly. This person is pointing that out, that this is what they're going to be doing. He's not pulling the no true Scotsman fallacy. He's pointing out what the religious people will be saying because of that. And this is a big problem for them. If somebody does something like this and under the name of their religion, oh, well, they weren't a true Christian. Bullshit. They believed just as badly as you did, or as much as you did, or more. That's why they did this. And if they actually read their fucking Bibles, they would see that it says if your kid disobeys, for example, you are to kill the child.
Exactly. Read the Old Testament, bitch.
Oh, but that doesn't count. Bullshit. It does count. Otherwise, if it doesn't count, fucking get rid of the goddamn book.
Oh, I can't stand that either. When Christians try to cut out the Old Testament, I'm like, okay, if you cut out the Old Testament, you take away original sin, you take away your creation myth.
Yep. Yes, a reading of Genesis first 3 chapters. That's where I deconverted. It's like, wait, if this isn't real, if this isn't actual, then there's no reason for Jesus. There's no reason for original sin. There's no reason for all of this. It totally blows it out of the water.
I do want to read a comment from the chat room here. This is from Herc Ranson. Thank you for your comment. It says, I think they were exercising the wrong person. Absolutely. I completely
yeah.
Someone was possessed, yes.
Someone was possessed.
I would agree with that one.
It wasn't the child. It certainly was not the child.
Whose possession is it anyway?
Yes. Next on, whose possession is it anyway?
I wonder if the mother had like severe mental issues or something.
Well, that's my point right there. That's my point. Religion should not be consumed by anybody because it gets into the wrong hands, especially people who already have a pre-existing condition of mental problems. Right. And then they take it further.
Exactly. It's just like somebody with a gun.
Yeah, exactly. That's excellent points. Yes.
Yeah.